All right, welcome in everyone. Hope you're doing well. I'm Sebastian, and today I just want to talk about some safety stuff in and around the pool and around the water. So first off, I wanted to talk about two types of bodies of water. These are rivers and beaches. So I'll start off with rivers. Now, a common misconception with rivers is that they're super safe and they're safer than beaches. Actually, per person that swims, there are more deaths in the water on an average than at a beach. So obviously, much more people swim at beaches. That's why there are more deaths at beaches. But if you put it as a percentage of how many people go and how many people die, the percentage of rivers is higher. Okay, and you can search this up if you want. And you'll find that, yeah, rivers are pretty dangerous. Now, why does that come to it? Well, I have a feeling that, yeah, some people are very silly and they go swimming in rivers in far north Queensland. But nonetheless, rivers are still dangerous without that fact. Okay, so why would they otherwise be dangerous rather than the dangerous wildlife they have up there north? Well, for starters, rivers are very murky and you cannot see anything there. And currents can get quite strong. I can tell you that much. Currents can get really, really strong. Okay? So those are just two things that make rivers dangerous. You know, you've got all that debris and stuff there. Like at a beach, you pretty much just got sand. Okay? But at a river, you've got rocks, sticks, stuff that can cut you. I cannot tell you how many times I have been cut. I've left rivers with cuts and bruises even from rocks hitting me. That only happened one occasion, but you get the point. There's a lot of things happening in a river, you know, especially under the water, and you can't see under the water. So yeah, you can get why it can be a little bit dangerous. That doesn't mean you can't swim in them. Like there's plenty of, you know, they even have races up in Penrith. There's rivers around there and lakes around there that you can go swim at, and they even race around there. It doesn't mean they're dangerous. It just means please check the conditions. Feel the water. Okay, if you're in far north Queensland, don't swim in a river. Okay, and yeah, probably don't swim at a beach either. Okay. I'm from Sydney, so rivers and beaches are pretty safe here, but they still can be a bit dangerous because of the water and because of, you know, rocks, sticks, and other, mostly not wildlife, but, you know, sometimes you do get something that wants to nab at you, but not common at all, especially in rivers. It's more common actually in the beaches, but if you're worried about sharks while you're in Australia, my best tip is wear bright colors, wear white and black. Do not wear just plain black or navy blue because a shark will think you're a seal and they will bite you. But they won't ever eat you. Why? Because a shark doesn't like burns. Okay, so don't think sharks are that scary. You just need to wear bright colors and they'll think that you're poisonous and they won't touch you. But that's not actually the most dangerous thing at a beach. Now, for us people in Sydney, we commonly see people die at the beach. Why? Well, normally it'll be because of a rip. Now, a rip is when two ocean currents collide against each other, and if you get stuck in one of them, it's like wedging you in the middle. You're not going to swim either way. Okay? So, best thing to do, stay calm. Find where the lifeguards are. Just look around, see where they are. Okay, say they're over here, and I'll show them my universal sign for help. Now, this is it. This is the exact one. If you do a fist, they'll get what you mean. Or just wave around. Whichever. If you wave around, please don't panic too much, okay? Now, that all comes down to your exhaustion. You don't want to get too exhausted, because if you do get too exhausted, that's when you start sinking and you die. And that's not good, okay? We don't want to die. So, yeah, stay calm. And this is, you've probably been told this 1,000 times over. This is probably the most it's probably the most common thing to hear about at a beach for safety is just stay calm and if you're in a rip. But seriously, it's just the best way. There's a reason why people tell you to do that, because it's the best way. I know in the heat of the moment, it's very, very different, okay? But you just got to come prepared when you go to a beach that you might get into a rip. And if you get into a rip, you got to stay calm. And you got to come properly prepared for that. Because if you get stuck in a rip and you don't calm down and the lifeguard can't get to you in time, you're in trouble. Okay, you're in real trouble, especially if you're a beginner swimmer. But I think that's enough of that. I'll go on to the survival skills. Now, the first survival skill I want to go through is floating, so back floating. And here's me doing that, okay? Now, it does look a little bit funky, especially with the hands and the chin, but I'll explain that in a second. First thing I want to explain is the important thing is that your tummy stays up. If you engage your core by lifting it up, your center of buoyancy will be engaged and you'll stay up a lot easier. Now that doesn't mean everyone's going to be floating if they just keep their tummies up, okay? We all have different bone densities, okay? So everyone's going to feel it a little bit different. Some people can float just like a kid. So if you saw the video, well, I showed you the video before, you saw it was a bit funky. I have to do it that way. Some people can just do it like a child, you know, and they'll float easily. Generally, women float better than men. That doesn't mean that all women can float. No, it's just a generalization, okay? If you can do that, great. Most commonly though, for adults, their legs will sink. So personally, when I float on my back, my legs sink. My legs go right down to the bottom of the floor, and then my body flows along, and then I start, you know, well, I don't start anything. I stop breathing because, you know, I'm under the water, and that's not ideal, especially if, you know, the whole point is to be able to breathe freely. So that's why I did these. I'm going to show you it again. These hands and the chin thing. Now, these hands, the hooking hands and the chin, are just going to help you act as a counterbalance. Or the hands and the chin is going to help act as a counterbalance to level out your legs to come up. Now, they aren't full fixes. Normally, one of those two will work. But don't think, you know, if you're someone with really bad bones, not bad as in like, you know, they're diseased or anything, but like, you know, density wise, you might sink anyway and you might not be able to float on your back. But normally one of those two things will help. Just doing it like a child normally just doesn't work for adults. Most commonly the legs will sink, okay? If you're one of those people, by the way, that can't float, well, unlucky. Learn backstroke. Do it. Okay, and actually I'm going to go on to a little tidbit right now before I go on to my next survival skill. Why these things can be also important in your swimming is because you learn good body positioning. So if you can learn to keep your tummy up, okay, you're going to have everything else is going to come up in your swimming. Everything else is going to be a little bit easier. You'll see adults that only practice freestyle and the legs can just never come up. Okay, so someone who hasn't properly learned how to swim, you'll see them when they do their freestyle, which is what they always do. They always just think, oh, I'm just going to do freestyle and that's it. And then their legs are like this and their body's right here. And that's my arms to the top of the water and you can never see their legs. So yeah, that's one thing, like learning a good backstroke. Everyone hates backstroke. I hate backstroke myself. It's my second most hated stroke besides butterfly. But you know, butterflies, you know, it's a different beast. Okay, but I still practice it. Okay, because and I'll do it with my kid, like not my kids, but like the students that I teach. I'll do it with them. I'll do backstroke for them, and I find, and a lot of people in the swimming industry have found that as your backstroke improves, everything else comes up with it. Okay, so that's just a little tip. that I want to add in today, just because it's something I've been doing a lot recently, and I thought it could be kind of relevant here today. But that leads me on to my second one, my second survival skill, which is survival backstroke. Now, really, it's more like a survival breaststroke, but you can see it here. You're on your back doing a breaststroke kick, and you've got these weird chicken aeroplane soldier arms. So that's how we explained it to the kids. Basically, what it is like a jellyfish. You're keeping your arms under the water the whole time, okay? So when you're doing breaststroke, or if these arms mimic a breaststroke kick, or, you know, take on the spirits, we could say, okay? You want to keep it under the water, okay? And the reason why I say chicken airplane soldier is chicken, airplane, soldier. Simple, and the kids always understand it. But yeah, for an adult, yeah, you get it anyway. And why this is really useful? Well, breaststroke is actually designed for survival. That's why it's so easy. You conserve your energy, but this one allows you to breathe openly, and it's much easier, especially for a beginner. And if you haven't gotten your breathing patterns quite right yet, this is a really good thing to learn. Sorry, I'm getting a call. No, mother, I cannot talk right now. I'm making a YouTube video. But yeah, what was I saying? Yes, survival backstroke. Yes, it is a very good thing. What you want to make sure is that your head's back. I'll commonly see kids look at their toes. It's not going to end well. Go try that and see how much pain you're going to be in by the end of it. You won't be in literal pain, but you're going to get a lot of water in your face, and you're going to be bopping up and down, up and down, up and down, and you're going to look really, really silly. Now, the next thing, just like the starfish, the back float, keep your tummy up nice and high, and you'll get it really, really well, okay? But that's it for that one. As always, if you're struggling with these things, please comment what your struggles are, or send me a video of what you're doing. I'll always put my email in the description, every single video. Just send it through the email. If you struggle to put long videos into, like transfer long videos through your phone and your computer, just download it to Google Drive and then send it through there, and it'll resolve that. Just make sure you add a message in, saying that you saw my YouTube videos, or not even that you saw my YouTube videos, but just add a message in, because then it'll come into my inbox and it'll be much easier to see. For me, I don't normally check the drive, so sometimes it just lands in the drive. But yeah, make sure you send a message if you are to do that, because it'll be really useful for you, because it's pretty much like getting a free swimming teacher. But the last thing I want to talk about survival, it's something I don't normally do. It's survival freestyle. It's just freestyle with your head up. Now, I would only use this at a beach, okay? Because if you're at a beach, right, I would hate to do back float or survival backstroke. Why? Well, think about it. You've got waves there. It's going to come down onto your face, and that's not going to be too good of a feeling. And that might panic you a bit if you're not used to that, okay? So I normally like to go on my back. I normally like to do survival freestyle if I am in that situation. I've only ever had to do it once, but it's literally freestyle with your head up. Now, the reason why I don't like it is because if you've ever done your freestyle like this, you'll know that it's really, really hard to kick. That's why it's really important to learn good body positioning. Oh, sorry, I'm close to the camera here. It's important to learn good body positioning right here, because having a head like that is going to help your legs come up, okay? So even having this is going to affect your kick, okay? So you can imagine how much harder it's going to be if it looks like this. You get what I'm saying? So use it as a last resort if you're trying to swim against the currents of a beach. I wouldn't swim against the current of a river, but if you have to at a beach, you just have to. If you have to at a river, you just have to. I would do that, okay? Because if you're trying doing anything like breaststroke to swim against the current, yeah, it's not gonna work, okay? Breaststroke is not made for that at all. If you're gonna do a breaststroke or anything like a breaststroke or a survival backstroke, you're swimming with the current, okay? And actually, I've made swimming against the current a thing here. Please, if you don't have to, do not ever swim against a current, okay? It's probably the silliest thing that you can do. It is so futile, okay? Especially if you're at a river, okay? Because if you're at a river, there's not really any waves or anything, so you can just flip on your back, look up, and let the water take you. You can't really do that at a beach because you've got the water in your face. But if you do that, you'll come back up anyway. Okay, so it's not like it's a major thing, but I would understand if someone getting the waves like that, that's quite panicky. Like that would cause some panic. I understand that. That's where, it kind of changes a little bit. But as I said, if you do float on your back at a beach, you always just come back up if you've got the right body positioning. Okay, and you've got the right bone density as well. But please always just check the conditions before you swim somewhere, especially if it's open water. If it's at a pool, there's pretty much no current at all. Obviously, there's, going to be a slight one, coming out into the filters and everything, but it's not anything that you're going to really notice at all. So you'll be fine, okay?
Hey, it's me. One more thing. Your lungs are like life jackets, so if you have full lungs, you will float much easier. Thought this would be helpful. Thanks, bye.
But yeah, I hope this video is really useful. I just thought it would help some people who have questions about safety skills and what can I learn to help myself improve my survival skills in the water. What happens if I'm caught in a rip or anything. And that's actually, being caught in a rip is covered so much. It's probably the first thing that you learn about when you come to Sydney. And as I said before, if you're in Northern Australia, don't swim. Don't swim, okay? And I did that little tidbit about sharks. That's something that comes up commonly. A shark will never want to bite you. Actually, if a shark does bite you, just that one bite pretty much takes away its whole day's energy, because sharks don't like biting through bones, okay? So please don't be scared of a shark. Sharks are beautiful creatures. They are absolutely majestic. I love sharks. They're so cool to see, but they can be dangerous if you wear the wrong cozies. They don't have to be dangerous if you wear the right cozies. So if you wear white and black, it'll probably think that you're a venomous snake. It'll think you're a sea snake, and it won't attack you. If you wear bright colors, most bright colored animals, especially in the water, are venomous. So it will think you're one of them. But if you're wearing those normal swimsuits, it's going to think you're a seal, and it'll knob you right up, especially if it's a great white. Yeah, and make sure there's no bull sharks or other type of sharks, especially bull sharks. If you're in a body of water with bull sharks, no matter what, don't swim there. Okay? But that pretty much wraps it up. As I said before, if you have any questions about anything in swimming, or you want to send me a video, I always leave my email down in the description. Send me some things, or leave a comment, whatever. I don't mind. Just abuse me until I can't help you anymore, please, because that will make my day. Okay, it will absolutely make my day. And without further ado, I'd like to say bye to you all. Please swim responsibly and have fun doing it, okay? It's such a great sport to do. I just went swimming today. I did a quick 2Ks, and I had so much fun doing it. I focused on my freestyle pool today, so it was mostly just, using my hand paddles and stuff like that, and I enjoyed every second of it. especially because I had my music with it. But I'm not sponsored for that, so I'm not gonna plug that again. I wasn't sponsored on the last video either, if you want to know about that. But anyway, I think it's like the second. I always say bye and then I start talking more. I think that's probably just a Latino thing. But yeah, sorry about that. Anyway, I'll see you all later. Have fun swimming. Keep practicing. That's so important. Always practice. And yeah, I'll let you to it. Hopefully you go and practice right now. All right, bye.